The offense. The offense was an absolute joke.
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Oh, yes. Welcome on into Locked On Auburn, your daily Auburn Tigers podcast. I'm your host, Zac Blackerby, and thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day, especially if you want to hear more about that torture that we just had to go through for the last 3.5, 4 hours. What an abject disaster that was for the Auburn offense. We'll talk about how great the Auburn defense was towards the end, but Auburn drops this one to Texas A&M 16-10. And what was such a... Auburn was given chance after chance after chance, and then it felt like Texas A&M kind of put it out of reach, and then Xavier Chaplin with the play of the game for the Auburn side to put it on the one, to where, like, all right, it's first and goal from the one. You got 4 chances. Jackson runs it in, makes the right decision on that play. Great. Awesome. And then the defense, what does the defense do? They keep giving you chances. You get chance after chance after chance. And there were just different things. There were just different things every single drive where it's like, let's find another way to shoot ourselves in the foot. Let's find another way to get in our own way and take us out of the football game. And that was different things. Sometimes it looked like false starts. Sometimes it looks like Jackson Arnold holding onto the football when the replay shows multiple guys open. Sometimes it's just no space being created by the wide receivers that we all agreed going into the season was one of the best receiving corps in college football. Most places had Auburn ranked as low as 2. I didn't really see many others lower than that. And you can't get those guys involved. And yes, we can point at Xavier Chaplin in the offensive line. Yes, we can point at Jackson Arnold. And you would not be wrong. But the man I'm pointing at right now is Hugh Freeze. You are an offensive-minded coach. You are a guy who said, hold on, I need year 3. Let me get my quarterback. Let me get my elite wide receivers. Let me rebuild this offensive line. Okay? Now what? Now what? Your defense held a very good Texas A&M team to 16 points. Let me ask all of you, 1,200 plus people in here right now, if I told you going into this that Texas A&M scored 16 points, would you take that? Yes. The offense scored 3 points. Excuse me. The offense scored 3 points. Technically, I guess they technically scored 10. But goodness gracious, the play calling was a disaster. It was a disaster in the first half, and then it kind of came on in the second half where, like, okay, you started looking like an actual offense. You were converting. You were winning on first down. But the plan on first down in the first half was a joke. It seemed like every drive, it was 2nd and 20. Every drive in the first half, it felt like it was 2nd or 3rd and 10 plus. Then in the second half, you could tell there was an adjustment, and they're like, okay, we got to win on first down. And they did it in different ways. Some of it was run, not a lot. We'll talk about how involved Jeremiah Cobb was in a second. Don't you worry, we're headed there. There's so much to get to. But they got Singleton involved, or the short stuff to Cam Coleman, and then Cam would drop one. But that was fine. The second half was, but then you couldn't close. You couldn't close. You still would do stuff to get in your own way. And a lot of times it was Jackson just holding on to the football. This is the first time, and I know a lot of people were upset with Jackson last week. I really gave him the pass last week because of the matchup and the situation and what was available downfield. But goodness gracious, Jackson Arnold, throw the dang football. Or run it. Or do something. Make a decision. There was one of those key drives in the second half where, like, Jackson chooses to snap the ball with two guys in motion at the same time. What? You don't see that in high school. You have an offensive-minded head coach. You have one of the more expensive quarterbacks in the transfer portal, and you've got the best receiving core in the SEC, and this is the product that you put on the field. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. And I went into this stretch of 3 games last week against Oklahoma, at Texas A&M, and then hosting Georgia after the bye week in 2 weeks. Think, okay, if you could just get one of them. And this one feels like it kind of slipped through the cracks. Like, this is a game where if you win, it changes the perception nationally. It changes the perception as far as what you can achieve on your schedule. And it says what I said and what other people said at the national level throughout the week, that if you win this game, it puts you in the playoff conversation. Now that seems like such a joke. It seems like such a joke because Auburn scored 10 points. Auburn scored 10 points. Somebody in the chat said UTSA scored like 24 against this team. This defense is not great. It's solid. It's athletic. And they had a bye week last week. And let's don't act like I didn't have a part of it. But goodness gracious, what a joke. What a joke of the offense. The first half, like, it just seemed like there was no plan. There was no plan at all, especially on first down. Did we convert a third down all game? We didn't. Oh, my goodness. We went 0 for 12 on third down, 0 and 2 on fourth down. Oh, my goodness. What a joke. I hate it for these receivers. I hate it for these running backs. And I hate it for some of these offensive linemen. But goodness, you're going to see changes. You got to see changes over the course of the bye week. And I'm not talking about fire Hugh. I know most of the fan base is like fire Hugh Freeze. I'm not there. It's not going to happen at this point of the season. Like, if it falls off and they don't win another game, the coaching situation is going to work itself out. He's either going to figure it out or he's not. From a personnel standpoint, that's what's going to impact the rest of the season. Xavier Chaplin, how does he continue to be the starting left tackle? How does he not get pulled at halftime? I mean, it seemed like anytime there was something that happened, it's like, oh, our preseason first-round draft pick left tackle either jumped off sides or false starts, or he holds. Like, everything was that. And so I don't know what that conversation looks like in the bye week. Do you scoot Dylan Wade back to left tackle? And then maybe you elevated DeAndre Carter, or maybe you give Kel Ellis a shot. I thought he looked great in the limited time last week. I don't know. Do you put Tyler Johnson there? Do you put Tutal there, who's more primarily a right tackle? I don't know. Like, the fact of the matter is you have options. And you've got Dylan Wade from last year, like, where you kind of know what he's going to do. But there's a sad reality of this. There's a sad reality in all of this, that there's going to be some questions that are asked. And the question's a little scary. The question's a little scary. I just realized I'm using the wrong background. So my bad on that. Try to do too many things at once, people. Trying to do too many things at once. There we go. There's a question that I think is scary, and I think we sadly all know the answer to it. That's why it's scary. Let's address that question together next, right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show brought to you by our friends at Mazda. Mazda's moving the game forward for those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it. There are moments that do more than put points on the board. They move crowds, move culture, and keep moving the game forward. When you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to a Mazda vehicle. Mazda, move and be moved. Thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. All right. Let's discuss the big question that I think has to do with the current roster, the future roster, and recruits. If you are an offensive player, why in the world would you want to play in that offense? And that's a problem because there is no answer. I mean, if you're Cam Coleman or you're Eric Singleton or you're Malcolm Simmons, I mean, let's not play silly. Obviously, Eric had plenty of choices to pick from. Let's don't be silly here. You think Cam Coleman was contacted by other teams this offseason? I think so. You think Malcolm Simmons was contacted by other teams this offseason? I think so. Why in the world would you want to play in this offense right now? And we had a similar conversation that we did, a year ago with this, where it's like there's so many things that are wrong with it. The offensive line looks bad. Quarterback play, it's bad in different ways than it was a year ago with Jackson holding onto the football. And then the play calling just doesn't make sense. And I know there's a lot of jokes about like who's calling plays. All three of Auburn's offensive coordinators, like we've all seen those throughout the game. Maybe we've made some of them. That's fine. You can do whatever you want. But this is Hugh Freeze. Even if the 3 play calling thing is true, which I don't think that it is, but like let's say it doesn't matter. This is all on Hugh Freeze. It's year 3. This is last year. I'm still like, whatever. If it's first year, obviously, whatever. This is not ideal. This is not ideal. This Texas A&M team, like, I know they have a 9 next to their name, and like, I'm really high on Marcel Reed. If you guys listen to the show a lot, you know what I think about Marcel Reed. But this is this defense is not good. This Texas A&M defense is not. This Texas A&M defense is not good. And that's what's so frustrating about all of this. Somebody in the comments just said 17 sacks through 2 games. It's abysmal. It's abysmal. And like, there's a lot that goes into a sack. Some of it is Jackson holding on to the ball. I mean, we've had this conversation now for 2 weeks. Some of it's Jackson holding on to the ball too long. Some of it is our guys getting beat. Chaplin had a really bad game. And then some of it's play calling. Like the 4th and 1 with the game on the line, I don't know if it makes sense to call a drop back there. I don't think that makes sense. Like, I don't want to zoom in on solely like potential go ahead drives. I don't want to zoom in on that. Because like the offense as a whole was really bad and a problem. But this is now 2 weeks in a row where the offense has had a chance to win, and there was zero hope. I don't think they believed in themselves, guys. I don't think Hugh Freeze believed in it. He's just kind of over there like with the blank stare with the sunglasses on, and the camera keeps zooming in on him. It's just like, it feels bad. Like, it feels weird. It feels weird. It feels hopeless. And I hope that that's not it. I think it's going to be really telling over the bye week if they don't change any of the personnel. I think that would be bad. Or at least open up the competition. You have to look at the offensive line. You have to look at quarterback. And you've got to have a hard conversation with yourself on like, why are these elite receivers not consistently open? Does the route tree suck? Are we not looking at tape correctly? Are we preparing for games wrong? I mean, this is what's similar to last year is like, there's so many issues. And some people are saying like, start Deuce in the comments. Like, I'm all for a change. Like, if what's not working, like, let's change stuff just to change stuff. Like, I'll give you some of that. But Deuce doesn't fix the O-line. Deuce doesn't fix guys that are consistently covered. Deuce doesn't fix, holding and penalties on the offensive line. So like, it's more than just quarterback. I know a lot of people want to hate on Jackson. And once again, you could do whatever you want. Jackson did not play well. The offense scored 3 points because I'm not giving them the 1-yard drive. I don't think they deserve credit for it. I think Adkins deserves the credit for that. But to say like it's all quarterback, I think is lazy. To be 100% honest with you, I think it's lazy. The O-line is bad. Play calling is bad. There is no plan. And the way Auburn starts games is consistently slow. And that goes for the defense too. Like, thank goodness the defense adjusted after that first drive. I think there are larger conversations that we'll have here about the state of the program as far as what Hugh Freeze's role is. But in this modern day of college football, I think he's like, I don't think you could be the OC and a successful head coach at this point. And so I'm curious to see how that narrative goes. I can't wait to see what Hugh Freeze says in his post-game presser. Daryl and I will recap that in the morning. If you want more of this, which I know a lot of y'all will, because y'all care so much about this program. But this is not, it's not an ideal situation. And the jump that we were told and expecting from year 2 to year 3 has not happened. Now, let me also say this. So the whole thing's not 100% doom and gloom. Going into the season, I picked Auburn to go 8-4, and that included 3 losses all in a row. I had them losing to Oklahoma. I had them losing today, and I had them losing 2 weeks against Georgia. And then I had them winning the rest of the games until the Iron Bowl. So, like, this path to 8-4, I still don't think it's impossible. I still don't think it's impossible, assuming you make proper changes. But what we saw today is inexcusable. What we saw today is not good. So to me, you have to have the hard conversations internally as a program. And you got to look around the SEC and it's like, are we better than Vanderbilt? Not right now. I know they struggled with Utah State early, but they said, no, we got to win this game. They got a quarterback that says, no, we're not losing this game. Arkansas, I'm going to be honest, I don't really know what to think about. And they may have a new head coach by then, and they may get fired up. Like, I don't love how that could time out for us. Kentucky, okay, great. Guys, like, this is about to sound sad. I'm really glad we don't play Mississippi State this year. Unreal. Unreal, man. Goodness gracious. Jeremiah Cobb, Auburn running backs did not have a rush attempt in the first quarter. And then I believe this is right. At the half, Damari had 2 carries. Jeremiah Cobb ended with 6 carries for 28 yards. In a game where you're going against a really good team on the road that has struggled to stop the run, Auburn went into this saying, we may not have a clear plan, but we're not going to run the football. What? What in the world? Stinks. Absolutely stinks. Jeremiah Cobb, 6 for 28. Jackson Arnold, 15 carries for 11 yards. I'm assuming that's sack adjusted. Damari Austin, 2 carries for 10 yards. They got cute with Eric Singleton. They put him in the backfield more, which I don't hate, but like, if 1 carry for 3 yards there. Singleton was targeted 7 times. Cam Coleman was targeted 8 times. Cam Coleman, a top receiver in college football, was targeted 8 times, and he got 18 yards. That doesn't seem real, so I'm going to say it again. Cam Coleman was targeted 8 times, and he got 18 yards. Cam Coleman's long was a 5-yard reception. That's crazy. That's crazy bad. I don't think it's Cam's fault. It's the first time where like the shot of him on the sideline. It's the first time he's looked frustrated, and that's a problem. That's a problem. Auburn loses 16-10. More about this next. Drop your comments and takes. I'll try to grab them. They're going so fast in the chat. All that's next right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show brought to you by our friends at 5 Hour Energy. Caffeine just got a flavor upgrade. 5 Hour Energy shots deliver tasty caffeine in 17 bold flavors. Each 2-ounce shot packs the caffeine of a premium 12-ounce cup of coffee, plus B vitamins and nutrients with 0 sugar and 0 crashes. Enough with boring, flavorless caffeine. It's time to give your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5 Hour Energy shots. Get the favorites you love or be bold and try something new. In-store and online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon today. Thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it because the story of this is the offense. The defense did its job. In fact, it did even more of its job. Where like just allowing the 16 points was fantastic. Xavier Atkins going above and beyond to make the play of the game, which could have set up something really special. Didn't, because the offense couldn't capitalize. But the frustrating thing about this is like this defense is going to keep you in a lot of games. It's going to keep you in a lot of games. There's a lot of people saying Durkin for head coach. I don't know if I'm going to go that far. I'm not there yet. And I'll talk more about that throughout the week as far as what roles need to change. But as long as if Hugh Freeze is adamant on being the offensive coordinator as well, that might be the end of it based on this. Because it's clear like it's a few things. Either he can't nail the quarterback situation. You pick Peyton Thorne twice. You've picked Jackson Arnold. I don't know. Like, it seems like you're 0 for 3. Seems like it. Still got a long season, but like, I'm just like, goodness gracious. Yeah, or you can't get the best receivers in college football open, which is a problem too. Or you can't get the quarterback to see the wide receivers, which once again is a problem. Which is a problem. All right. I thought the defense was incredible today. I hate that it was wasted. What an incredibly effective effort by the defense. Okay. Let's see what we can let's see if we can grab any while they're going so fast. We're not even making the Birmingham Bowl. You don't think? I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, if I had to guess right now, Auburn wins 6 games, but we all knew this was going to be a rough stretch for sure. Curious y'all's thoughts. Does Peyton Thorne win that game? If Peyton Thorne's in, it kind of feels like the first year's offense under Freeze is better than what we've seen so far this year, which is sad. Several people saying we are not going to win 6 games. We'll see. Well, we're at 3, right? Mercer, Kentucky. Can we get another one? My guess is yes on that, but you scored 10 points. If your offense scores 3 points, it's going to be tough. Yeah, James is saying Mercer, Kentucky, Arkansas. Definitely the 3 most likely, I would think, for sure. Oh, my goodness gracious. All right. Yeah, I mean, there's so many problems. Like, you got to, if it does fall apart, which, I mean, we'll see what happens against Georgia, but which we'll see what Georgia does tonight against Alabama. I just hope you see changes. I hope it's just not the same stuff over and over and over again. And that is my concern. My concern is they're going to try the exact same thing against Georgia try the exact same thing against Missouri. And Hugh Freeze is going to go to the podium and say, yeah, we just got to execute. We just got to execute. We got to coach better. It's like, bro, it is year 3. Your left tackle can't stay on sides, and your quarterback can't throw the football because he doesn't want to, not because he doesn't have the physical traits. His traits are fine. There was a play at the, I think it was towards the end of the first half where like Singleton's wide open. He looked frustrated. That's the concerning part to me is it seems like Cam and Eric were patient, and I'm wondering if that patience is wearing a little thin after today. That is my concern. And the other concern is just like the devotion to the passing game. Yes, I get you've got good wide receivers. Yes, I understood you threw it a lot at Ole Miss and at Liberty. I get it. But goodness gracious, this is a defense, Texas A&M's defense, is so bad at stopping the run, and that's just not what you chose to attack. I mean, pretty much all of Auburn's rushing yards, 52. All 52 of Auburn's rushing yards, or a good chunk of Auburn's 52 rushing yards, came when it was like 3rd and long, and they were trying to pick up a few for field position. Gross. Absolutely disgusting. And like the transfer portal tackle thing, like that just costs so much NIL money. It costs so much. So where like I think that's why he hasn't been benched. Like you see it in the pros too, where you give a guy this massive contract and it's like, we're paying you. We got to play you. We got to hope you like get out of this funk that you're in. But crappy situation. Crappy situation for sure. Auburn loses 16-10. Brutal, brutal, brutal stuff. Please like the video. Please subscribe. Daryl and I will have a show that drops in the morning. Talk about what Hugh Freeze said. I can't wait to hear it. I'm serious. I can't wait to hear what Hugh Freeze has to say. Because I hope it's something different. I hope it's not just the same stuff, guys. The same stuff every single year. Every single week. After every single loss. I don't know, this loss felt different. Y'all agree? Like this loss seemed to kind of push a lot of people away, whether it's Freeze or Arnold. Like this is the first game where I've really been like, does Deuce give you a significantly worse shot? I still think there's questions, right? Like Xavier Chaplin doesn't get significantly better if Deuce Knight starts. I don't think does the play calling change? Does the play calling get more run heavy if Deuce Knight is in? Because if that's the case, I'm like, yeah, maybe we should start Deuce. This loss feels different than other ones. And it because it was like you should have won it. The defense was incredible. And like we've done this for the second half of the Malzahn era. We did it through Harsin. We did it through this, where it's like, why can't we have an offense at Auburn? You hire offensive coaches. Such a joke. Such a joke. All right. Please like the video. Please subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow. This has been Locked On Auburn.